What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to our YouTube channel. Today I got a quick video for you guys. Wanted to talk about Jaden Ivey, and I wanted to talk about Jaden Ivey because he's one of the top prospects in this year's 2022 NBA draft. He's a sophomore out of Purdue and he's having a great season. And I've seen recently on social media he's drawn some interesting comparisons to some players in the NBA, and so I kind of wanted to just touch on those comparisons, talk about his draft status, where he could fall in the draft, and just kind of talk about overall how I guess his season is going to project and where he's going to end up projecting in the NBA. And so wanted to give my thoughts on all that. More importantly, wanted to hear your guys' thoughts on Jaden. So make sure you leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. And with that being said, let's get into the video. So Jaden Ivey is a sophomore out of Purdue. He's kind of a combo guard, probably more suited as a 2 guard than a traditional 1, but he's someone who can kind of play or at least defend both guard spots. And he came back for his sophomore season. At the end of his freshman season, he ended the year on a tear. His last 10 games he was putting up insane numbers, and he had a chance to declare for the NBA draft. If he did, he probably was going to be a late first round type draft pick, someone who was probably going to play a good amount of minutes in the G League and just be a developmental type player, someone with high potential, but was just going to need time to develop. He decided to come back for his sophomore season and see if he could be a lottery type draft pick, and so far he's lived up to those expectations. He's played really well, and he's shown that he's probably better than just a lottery type player. He's the type of player who could be a potential top 5 pick in this year's draft. And so his stats for the year have improved across the board, which is exactly what you want to see out of a player who returns to college. Currently averaging about 16 points a game, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists a game. But the big thing that has really improved in his game is the efficiency from the floor. He's shooting about 50% from the field, which is really, really good for a guard who has the ball in his hands a ton. He improved that from about 40 last year, so a 10% jump there, which is huge. But the big thing, the big question mark on Jaden heading into the season was how well could he shoot the ball. Like I said, he had about that 10-game sample size to end the year last year where he played pretty well and shot the ball well. But the question was, could he do that for a full season? And so far, he's answered that question. He's shooting 44% from 3, which is a huge jump up from 26% last year. And so he's answered, the question of can he get better. He's shown that he can improve his game and he can take his game to, another level. And I think with time, we're going to see him just continue to get better throughout his college career and eventually into the NBA. Now, Jaden has drawn a very unique comparison, I think, in the NBA, and it's to a player who I don't think their games necessarily match with each other, but I think it's more so about their body types and the type of athletes they are. And the player that he's going to compare to, as you can see in the title, is Morant. And I think that, like I said, it's not necessarily how they play the game, even though there is some similarities there, but it's just based on the body types and their athleticism. Both are very long, wiry, explosive, quick leapers. Obviously, we've all seen Ja and his athleticism. He just recently, the other night, had maybe the craziest block we've seen in the NBA in some time. He hit his head on the rim on an alley-oop. That type of athleticism. And Ja is a tall, lanky guard, kind of wiry, strong, and Jaden possesses that same build. Jaden is about 6'4", 200 pounds listed at, and so he doesn't necessarily have, brute strength behind him, but he's got that wiry, kind of just quickness, quick twitch type game. It's hard to describe, but if you go watch his highlights, Jaden has had some crazy dunks this year in game, and so it's very reminiscent of Ja in that way. And I think that, like I said, it's not necessarily how they play the game, but I think it's just that body type, that athleticism, that quick twitch, that wiry strength to them. I think they're both very similar in that regard. And I think another reason why people may be drawing that comparison is that Ja decided to come back for a second year in college and improve his draft stock that way, and obviously ended up being the number 2 overall pick. And Jaden has decided to do the same thing, and he's put himself in a similar position. Now, will he be the second overall pick? That's kind of in question right now. Obviously, a lot can change from January till June when the draft happens. But right now, he's got himself at least in that conversation. Ja was obviously just very electric his last year in college, putting up huge numbers. And Jaden doesn't necessarily have the type of numbers that Ja put up while at Murray State, but Jaden is on a much better team. His team is one of the top teams in the country, and will be looking to make a Final Four run, where I think with Ja and Murray State, he was asked to do so much within the offense. And Murray State was good. They won a game in the tournament, but they weren't a serious contender to potentially make it to the Final Four and be a team that could win a national championship. And so their roles on their team are different. The way that they play the game is a little different. But I think, like I said, that body type, that athleticism, I think it's very similar between the two. Now, in terms of the draft and where Jaden Ivey will be going, I would think that he would be a lock to be a top 5 type pick. I think in the video I released, I believe it was last week, where I did my top 5 for the NBA draft, I think I had him going 3rd or 4th. I can't remember off the top of my head, but he's in that range, and I think that's where he'll be picked. He fits today's NBA really well, and if he continues to shoot the ball the way that he has at a plus 40% clip, then I think the sky's the limit for him. And like I said, he fits today's NBA really well. Can guard both guard spots, can play off the ball, can play a little bit on the ball, provides the athleticism you want in transition. And just like I said, the big thing with him is versatility, whether it's defensively, offensively, whatever. He can just do a little bit of everything. And so I think he'll fit with any team really that drafts him. Obviously, ending up in the right situation is the big thing for him. And I think he needs to go somewhere where they're going to continue to develop his game, give him opportunities to grow as a playmaker, as someone with the ball in his hands, and see where that takes him. And so I think overall, I like the comparison with Ja in terms of body type and athleticism. Not necessarily so much in how they play the game, but like I said, I like that comparison. I like Jaden in his game. I think he's a top 5 pick. Leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. Let me know what you think of the comparison, his game, where you want him going in the draft, things like that. Leave those thoughts in the comment section below. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe button, and I'll talk to you guys later.